With veteran middle linebacker Jordan Hicks set to hit free agency in March, the Eagles could be looking for help at the position this offseason. CBS Sports analyst Will Brinson thinks the position will be a priority for Philadelphia in April's NFL Draft. In fact, Brinson has the Eagles taking a traditional linebacker in the first round for the first time since 1979. Brinson pegged Michigan linebacker Devin Bush Jr. as the team's first-round pick in his latest mock draft. Bush would be the Eagles' highest-drafted traditional linebacker since Michael Kendricks was selected in the second round of the 2012 NFL Draft. Here's what Brinson had to say about the logic behind the pick. The Eagles are going to have an interesting offseason, with a lot of players no longer under contract. If they land Leonard Fournette via trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars, they can focus on adding a defensive player. Eagles to target defensive linemen in first round. ESPN's Todd McShay weighs in. Brinson made the Bush pick following another bold prediction. The CBS analyst believes the team could acquire Jaguars running back Leonard Fournette, presumably for former Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles. The Eagles would need to franchise tag Foles in order to trade him, as the quarterback has already bought himself out of his mutual contract option with the team. While the Foles trade for Fournette would take the Eagles out of the running for a tailback like Alabama's Josh Jacobs, it's interesting that Brinson would select a linebacker in the first round for the Eagles, rather than a position like offensive tackle or defensive end or even defensive tackle. In order to make Bush the first traditional linebacker taken in the first round since Jerry Robinson, the Eagles would need to feel like the linebacker position needs a serious investment. During his 2 tenures as the Eagles' top decision-maker, Executive Vice President of Football Operations Howie Roseman has declined to make the position a major priority. Outside of current starting linebacker Nigel Bradham, the Eagles haven't invested a lot of money in the position. Kendricks was a lone exception as a Day 2 pick that also received a lucrative extension after 3 seasons of work. He was eventually marginalized in the defense and released less than 3 years after signing his long-term pact. Roseman has drafted a handful of linebackers during his 2 tenures as the main authority on player personnel. Outside of Kendricks in 2012, Roseman has focused his linebacker efforts on Day 3 of the draft, using late-round picks to supplement the team's depth. While history has shown the Eagles aren't in favor of prioritizing the linebacker position, Bush could change that narrative. The 5'11", 233-pound playmaker produced 172 tackles, 18.5 for loss, 10 sacks, 11 pass breakups and an interception during his 3-year tenure at Michigan. Bush has been projected as a mid to late first-round pick by several notable draft experts since December. He could come into the fold for the Eagles as a middle or weak side linebacker, allowing Bradham to pick his role moving forward. Bradham played very well in place of Hicks at middle linebacker this past season. He could be asked to slide into middle linebacker this upcoming season after spending the majority of his career on the outside. Bush could then partner with incumbent starting outside linebacker Kamu Grugier-Hill to bookend Bradham. While it's probably unlikely that Bush is the 25th overall pick for the Eagles, it's an interesting scenario. The Eagles are likely to focus on the trenches early on in the draft, as the team has needs at offensive tackle, guard, defensive end and defensive tackle. Clemson defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence has been the most popular pick so far during mock draft season. Mike K may be reached at mk@advancemedia.com. Follow him on Twitter at MikeE_K. Find NJ.com on Facebook.